And considering we were speaking about collaboration, FP, yeah, one thing I like about FullyPaid is the fact that you don't shy away with collaborating with other brands. Like, I feel like when you're in fashion and you have a brand, people are very protective over it, as they should be. But some people are so protective to the point where they won't work with anyone because they feel like it will detach or take away from their brand. Whereas with you, I feel like you've seen collaboration as almost like an integral part of what FullyPaid kind of stands for. So what I'm alluding to is the work you did with the brand Trikko, the Spanish brand. Big them up. I thought the collab was wavy. The rollout for it was wavy. The film you made was wavy. The clothes were wavy. Like, it was a big deal. Like, how did that collaboration come about? And two, what sort of impact does a collaboration with like a brand from another city, for example, have on a brand like FullyPaid?
Yeah. Well, like, first of all, big up Mo and Ibrahim, like Trikko. Them men are cool because obviously we connected through Instagram and that, and I've been inspired with their work. You know what I mean? Them guys, they are doing some dope stuff. They're doing some crazy stuff. So whereas we both share the same ethos in it. So they respected the brand, they liked the brand, etc. So it was a thing where like we're like, yeah, you know what, we should make something happen. But prior towards that, we had a good relationship anyway. When they came to London, when they came to London, we chopped it up, had a few conversations and stuff like that. And like we met up a few times. You know what I'm saying? I brought them over to the office, the warehouse. Obviously, they see what was going on. Showed them a few stuff and that. So yeah, they were big fans of the brands. I was a big fan of Trikko, like, so we just made the collaboration happen at the right time. And yeah, like, they taught me a lot of stuff. So like within that time when they came to England, like, I learned some big stuff from them of how they actually, like, you know, they take TikTok and their content proper seriously, in depth and stuff like that. So I respect them because obviously I learned a lot from them within that time period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Also as well, it was also good because they're from Spain, we're from England, so it worked out on both parties. And obviously we both slightly share the because they're game changers, believe in the hustle and stuff like that. So yeah, man, but them boys are dope. They're dope, man. They're sick. You might see another collab, who knows? But yeah, man, they're really doing their thing. So big them up still.
They are now. Big up you guys for being bold enough to do things like that.
Because obviously at the time, I feel like people knew about them in UK. Actually, like, I don't know if people knew that much about them, but obviously I knew about them and I respected their work. And obviously they've gone on to do whatever big things now. So NFC, everyone knows about them now. And I'm not surprised anyway. That doesn't really surprise me because they work hard in it. So I think the sky's the limit for them anyway.
I think another thing we can kind of take from that Trikko moment in terms of this conversation is the fact that FullyPaid as a brand has really tried to not just focus on London. Like, obviously, you've done incredible things in London, but there's not many brands that can say they've conquered London or the UK. And the reason I position the question like that is because I'm like, often brands feel as though they have to do that before they start looking outside. But from the conversations I've had with you, for me, I feel like you've always realised that the world, especially particularly Europe, for example, is big for you guys.
100%.
And you guys have done activations in Italy,
France,
Paris, Spain. Like, you guys have really done this thing, you know what I'm saying? So what has made that sort of, I don't know, that global marketing or global ethos of FullyPaid so important to you? And again, like, how has that impacted sales and, you know what I mean?
It's done well sales wise because obviously we're getting sales from outside the UK. We have been anyway, so which is good. But also as well, I've always seen the world to be a bigger place than England. Like, I like to, like, I always want to, like, explore different sort of cultures and stuff like that, because I feel like outside of UK they really fuck with the UK. So I feel like it's good to kind of explore and meet different people because there's some dope people there, dope creatives all over the world. So my mission is always to kind of, like, you know what I mean, be as bold as possible, to, like, not be afraid to travel and meet different people on different sides of the world, because different people share different views on fashion, which helps me because I come back and I learn something different. Like in Italy, I learned something different. France, I learned something different. Spain, and even Australia, I learned something different. Like all these places, I learned something different, and them things there which I can then bring back and help me move forward. So yeah, I feel like within the fashion game in the UK, fashion's a big thing. So I've always had in my mind that I'm gonna take this as further as possible and try and connect with as many people all over the world.
Yeah, and when you say connect with as many people, I'm quite happy you mentioned that, because from having the conversations we've had, you made me really realize how important that interpersonal connection is when you're actually doing collaborations. Of
course.
Because often when it gets to certain levels of business and different brands are collaborating, it's like, it's not really about the people.
No.
People will make it happen, but it's the brands that are collaborating. Do you get what I mean? Whereas, for example, when we linked up that time and you was telling me about when you was in Paris and that, and you was with, I can't remember the name of the artist.
Which one? There's a few artists, I forgot.
But you said something like maybe he was eating at his crib or something like that.
Yeah. One of the artists, in Paris,
So like, how important is like the brand owner, you, in making those collaborations happen?
It is key. It's vital, because like, places like France, they appreciate when the owner actually comes down, and more time in France anyway, they're still on the block. They're proper like family oriented and stuff like that. The moment you go down there, they respect you. Do you know what I'm saying? Because someone outsider's coming in, and we're part of them. So, like, it's proper vital still. Proper vital. It's vital to pull that bridge, because obviously I'm not always going to be everywhere. But if I can pull that bridge from early, and someone from my team can go up there, bingo, perfect. But it's good. It's proper good. It's proper vital, because they'll rather hear it from you, see you, and then they'll be like, yeah, this guy respects us and stuff like that. So especially in France anyway, they're proper family. So they will literally, like, they're gassed. You know what I'm saying? They're proper happy. They will take you down to see their parents eat food and that. They'll bring you, like I'm saying, that's how they live. That's how they do it down there. So same thing as Italy as well. Italy's proper like a family thing. So
How did these places kind of differ to London? Like, how does your streetwear scene in Spain, France, Italy differ to like ours?
It's a little bit different, in terms of like dressing wise. They dress a bit different sometimes to England. They try and be the same, but it's not the same sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same at the same time. So, I mean, with France, I know how the French people will dress, and I know how the Italians will dress, and I know how the Spanish people will dress. They all have similar things in common, but it's one of them things there. So.
No, sorry, I was thinking about my cough. Sorry, bro, it's really difficult trying to do two things, but we're doing well though. Like, the conversation's flowing still, so it's good. But I was gonna say, FP, obviously speaking about all the global stuff you've done, I think that's a good segue to speak about, the different stockists you've kind of been involved in, because obviously naturally you ended up in a store in Australia. What's it called? Crepe store. Crepe shop. Big them up.
Did a little collaboration.
So, bro, that's mad, That's a big deal, fam. So big up you and the brand on that.
They're a good store. They're cool people still.
Wavy. So like, how do those sort of relationships come about, for example? And for the brand owners that are listening to this, what sort of things do they need to be prepared for when it comes to working with stockists?
I mean, making sure that the stock's there on time, making sure there's no issues, and also making sure that the stock list company is actually marketing the brand correctly, the way you perceive the brand, not the way they perceive the brand. I think that is a key thing, because that can make or break if you stock list into the wrong store, and they literally, how do I put it, if they don't market it correctly the way you do, it can mess up everything, and it could put out a different message, and it could cause a lot of confusion, and then it can mess up the brand. It happens every day. So things, the stock list store has to be in line with you. If the stock list store is not in line with you, it ain't gonna work after a period of time, and someone's gonna be at a loss in it. So and for more time anyway, you're gonna be at a loss. So
So when it comes to deciding, because naturally you don't know until you've done it. So how do you like truly gauge whether stockists want to be involved with you for the right reasons, and whether they'll be able to take the correct amount of care for your brand?
I feel like you will never know until you go in there. And then obviously, if you do have a second chance to have another stock list, then it will help you then, because you'll have more experience to know, okay, how you're going to go about it, how you're going to gauge it and stuff like that. So I feel like you'll never know until you try. So it's a risk anyway. So yeah.
No, it's good to know, man, because I think a lot of people, because I've had conversations like this with other people offline, online, whatever, but I think when it comes to stockists, often people say things like they'll never be in one because they always want the consumer to come directly to them.
Yeah,
but then, and I get that.
Yeah, I get that.
But then there's been times where, for example, I was literally having this conversation with one of my bedrooms like a couple of days ago, and he's got a brand, and he was saying he wouldn't want to be in a certain store because he feels as though it may not, I don't know, align with his brand. But then I'm like, but you also have to remember the type of people that you want to align with your brand, that you're targeting, shop in this place. They can afford to shop in this place. So why are you so anti it? So I think it's really important to remember that there's two sides to it. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So in terms of working with stockists and whatnot, what sort of benefit do you reckon it has on like an up and coming brand?
I mean, like benefits wise, isn't it? Most stockless stores actually have stores, so you can walk in there instead of online. So people can try it on and buy there and there on the spot. Whereas online, sometimes you can't try it on, etc. So it's a win-win. It's a win and a loss at the same time, because you might lose a customer that's going direct to the stock list, but on the same time, you might lose out money online because they're not coming straight to you. So it's a bit of a difficult one, and you might put it in the stock list store, and then they're making the clothes look so rubbish. They're putting it anyhow on a mannequin rag, and then someone could go in there and look at it and be like, I don't even want this no more. I don't like how it looks. So
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's a bit tough. It's a bit tough. So.
Because when it comes to something like that, as much as is in the store, there's still people working in that store. So it's so many people now have almost like a stake in how your brand is perceived.
100%. So it's a tough one, because obviously once your brand's in the store, whatever happens in the store, that like you can't control it. So and other stores, different stores have different managers for stores. So.
And they have different standards, even though it's meant to be one standard across everything.
100%.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. It's a big thing to think about. But I think a lot of brands will be faced with that dilemma. So they need to understand different sort of things that kind of go into making that sort of decision.
100%.
But thank you for watching another episode of Where's My Podcast. If you ever want to take in future episodes on the go, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Whilst you're there, please leave us a 5-star review. It would really help. And also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, WMTV_LDN, to keep up to date with the latest goings on in UK fashion. Keep it locked.